Hello everybody. I'm the same instructor from last week. I would like to continue part 2 of Kyokushin Karate training. Before we start, please, if you have any socks, wearing any socks, please take it off. Or if you're in a situation where you have to wear shoes, just go ahead and practice it with the shoes on. Just that with the socks, I don't want people slipping because we're going to be going through some punches and maybe introduce you guys to some of the kicks today. Anyways, if you guys are ready, I would like to start. Okay, hands forward in a fudodachi. Os! Now we would like to officially continue the second portion of Kyokushin Karate. Okay. Now before we start, let's go ahead and bring our heels together, like so, and your toes are pointing out. And we're always going to start with a meditation before we start the class. We're going to go this way. Leave your thumb out on both hands. The left side goes over your right and back straight. And the reason why we do the left hand forward is there's a meaning of this. It's a metaphor and symbolic meaning your left hand is going to be more of your rational side. And your right hand or right side of your body is going to be more of the instinctual side. So that's why you cover your instincts with your rational side. Okay. All right. Mokuso, close your eyes. Mokuso yame, go ahead and open your eyes. And naore, come back. Okay, so before we start, let's go ahead and go with a light stretching. Let's go hands over your knees, and we're going to lightly bend your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Knee circles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. Okay, feet together. Go ahead and touch your floor. And if you can't touch the floor, just go just as far as you can without overhurting yourself. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, now come back. Shoulder width, and go ahead and rotate your shoulders. First one is going forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I switch other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so if you have a belt, go ahead and hold the side of your belt. But if you don't, go ahead and just hold your side waist. Now we're going to move our neck up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now side to side, you want to put your ears to your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Third one, you're going to be turning left and right, chin to your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the last one, big circle and rotating your neck very lightly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And let's go ahead and go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, naore. Go ahead and cross your arms and back to the fudodachi. Fudodachi is where both of your hands are about your belt height and right in front of you. Okay. First off, we're going to go into kumite dachi. Kumite stands for free sparring or free fighting. This is a stance where you're going to go left forward, weight on the balls of your feet. Of course, your back is straight. You want to have good posture. The hands up around your chin height. Okay? From this kumite dachi, first thing we're going to go through is called the Oiski. Oiski is something where you're going to be striking from the hand that's in front of you. Okay? So right here, you're going to come straight in. Then come back right into your hands up position. Strike and come back. As I'm explaining this to you, go ahead and go over the movement. So before we go the 10 times, 10 count, you're kind of getting used to the movement itself. Okay? So as I'm striking, you want to make sure this other hand, your right hand, does not come down this way. The moment it comes down this way, you are vulnerable to attack by your opponent. So even if you're striking and you do get countered, you still want to be able to block, okay, and respond to your opponent's move. Okay? And as we're striking, go ahead and lightly move your hips as you're striking. Okay, now let's go ahead and go for the 10 count. はい、構えて。1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10. Okay, so that was called Oiski. Now, whenever you're going to be striking from the backhand, like so, this is going to be called Kyakuzuki. Gyaku, it means opposite. So, opposite hand, opposite leg. Kyakuzuki. Okay, same thing applies. As you're striking, you want to make sure your other hand is protecting your chin. And you come back to the hands up position. And as you can see, I'm twisting my hip. That way I'm relying on my whole body as I strike, and not just my arms. Okay, turn your hip. And make sure, as you can see, this is going to be from the sideways position. My heel is coming off the floor. This is an indication of me turning my hip as I punch. Okay? So go ahead and give this a try. You want to make sure you use your whole body. Okay, nice and smooth. Okay? Kyakuzuki. Okay, so let's go ahead and go with a 10 count. Before we go with a 10 count, you want to make sure you want to breathe out every single time you strike. Okay? And in karate, breathing out, we use this by doing kiai, something called kiai. Okay? Hey! 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 Okay? This way you exhale every single time you strike out. And when you exhale, you don't want to coming out from your throat, but rather coming out from somewhere we call tanden, which is the lower part of your diaphragm, as you breathe out. Okay, okay, kamaite. Let's go ahead and go with a 10. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Os, I know it. Whenever we come back, we go back with the crossing of the arms. Okay? Now in karate, everything we do with one side, we usually focus on the other side as well. So since we're left forward right now, let's go with a right foot forward. Okay, so everybody, let's go back to your kumitedachi. But now we're going to go with our right foot forward. Right foot forward, meaning your right hand is now going to be the oiski, okay? The front hand strike. Okay, same thing applies. Go ahead and use your whole body as you strike. Okay, so as I'm explaining, go ahead and practice this movement. The part of the hand that you are striking is a part of the name. It's called, I'm going to come forward. It's called seiken. This is the 2 knuckles that you're going to be striking with. So in karate, we don't wear big gloves or anything like that. We usually practice and even compete bare knuckle. Okay? Hence the name karate means empty hands. We don't rely on big gloves such as you would say in boxing. Okay, so it's very important to pinpoint where you're striking. The first 2 knuckles called seiken, and also your fist. There should be no holes or anything like that. Make sure you lightly wrap your fingers and your thumb wraps around. Okay? So from here, we're going to be striking with a seiken. Okay, so let's go ahead with a hands up position. Now you're going to be striking with your right oiski. Okay? Right, kamaite. Here goes the 10 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now we're going to go with a Kyakuzuki. it's going to be your backhand. So your backhand right now, since you are right forward, is going to be your left hand. And same thing applies. You want your hands up. And after you strike, is just as important. You want to come back to your starting position. Okay? A lot of the common things that we see quite a bit is this other hand coming down this way. Okay? So hands up, moving your hip, rotating your hip, and your back heel coming off the floor. Okay? As you strike. So it's almost like you're not just striking with your arm, but you're striking with your whole body as you punch. Okay? Right. So go ahead and go a few more times with the movement before we go for the 10 count. Okay? Hey, come right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, go ahead and switch your stance. Let's go back to your left forward once again. Okay, so now we're gonna strike with another technique called Shitazuki. Okay, this is pretty much a body punch, a body upper punch. Okay, it's coming from down and up, and you want to make sure same thing applies. Twist your hips, rotating your hips, and your elbow does not come away from your body. Elbow comes close to your body. That way you could put your whole body into the punch. Okay, so go ahead. Same thing, you are striking with the first 2 knuckles. This is called seiken. And your palms are facing up. Okay? Now let's go into the 10 count. Hey, come like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now let's go Kyakuzuki from your backhand. I'm sorry, Shitazuki from your backhand. Okay, same thing applies, turning your hip. I hear that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, go ahead and switch your stance. Now let's go ahead and go with the front hand Shitazuki. Okay? Front hand Shitazuki. Hey. Come like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, before we go into the backhand Shitazuki, I want to go ahead and explain it a little bit more in detail with the Shitazuki. So as I said earlier, you want to make sure your elbow does not flare out away from your body. So imagine there's a wall right here, and even though there's a wall, you'll still be able to strike because your elbow is tightly knit close to your body as you rotate. Okay? So if you find yourself ever hitting the wall, your elbow especially, that means your punch is coming around and looping, which is incorrect for Shitazuki. Okay? So let's go ahead and go with the backhand Shitazuki. Hey, come like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, note it. Come back. Okay, so I would like to introduce one kicking technique before we finish up the class. Alright, so let's go feet together. Now hands next to your hip. The very first one is we're going to do hizagiri or knee kick. When you do the knee kick, you want to make sure your ankle is straight and your knee comes up. Okay? So if you're wearing something that's a restricted movement, just bring it up where it's comfortable. Okay? But ideally, you want to bring it up towards your chest. Okay, so let's go ahead with a 10 count. Alright, come like that. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10. Alright, noted. Okay, this will conclude the second portion of the Kyokushin Karate training. Thank you very much for joining. We'll continue off from where we left off today for the next practice. Os.